Okay,
Okay.
season two, man, season two. Joining me today, Specificity Podcast, is Priscilla Meadows Norwood, founder of the Save Our Youth organization here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and Midnight Basketball. Today's topic, Midnight Basketball program. I usually started off one positive thing, one negative thing. Let's start it with the positive. Tell me something positive going on right now.
Well, one positive thing that's going on right now is that we have more jobs available than people to fill them. Um, and that's just one positive thing going on right now.
Okay, now, I'm learning to keep balance. So however much we put in one direction, in my opinion, we need to put at least in the other to kind of keep that balance. Tell me something negative.
The negativity that's in the climate in America today, uh, it has really gotten out of control. And um, I think we need a lot more positives, especially for our youth in the community, to be able to see. We can't have leaders projecting things in a negative light, and we expect our youth to do better.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and that perfectly leads me to the next question: is the leadership. For people who don't know, the Midnight Basketball Program is it's a social gathering. Is my because I visited myself. It's a gathering of the community from all ages, the elders, the working class to the children to the school age, and we come together in fellowship, spend time. They bring out members of the criminal justice program in the community, the policemen, to kind of be that bridge to show people that this is what we're able to do when we're disciplined, when we're intentional, when we have the right intention moving forward, and to hold each other accountable. Uh, Leadership, to be a community leader, what does it mean to you?
Um, to be a leader to me means that someone who is going to stand out and to promote change in the community in a
Yeah,
positive light, of course.
yeah, be that example.
Hmm.
Um, what I like to do is preparation. I think prevention is extremely important. So it's giving them as much information as they can have to prepare themselves for those who do want this or do see this for themselves. What's some things they can expect from this type of responsibility?
Commitment, commitment and dedication to the cause, and to make sure it's coming to fruition. One of the things is being in communication with the community and to ensure these plans and programs are implemented and carried out.
So what made you fulfill it? The commitment, the communication.
What made me fulfill it is that it was instilled in me by my father, the late Bishop Charles Meadows. He always instilled in us to be in service to others, be in service to our community. Um, if you see a need, then be willing to try to help and fulfill that need of service. And also, I saw that in the school system, uh, the underserved students in the community, and it also made me want to be uh, of service to our community at large.
And you are. And you are. Tell us
Thank
about
you.
I went over it vaguely, but tell us about the Midnight Basketball Program. Tell us about it.
The Midnight Basketball Program, it was a group of us originally at the very beginning, like the year or two that it started out, that saw a need in the community. And we wanted to fulfill that void because many youth were just hanging out with nothing really to do. And so we thought about, the youth love basketball. They love coming together. They love having different activities and stuff to do. And it's at a time that it was much needed in our community, which is from 7 to midnight. Every Friday night, we're out there from 7 to midnight and ensuring that they have a safe haven. We ensure that they have a hot meal. It's not just sandwiches, hot meals and drinks. And we give them, different STEM activities. We give them games, as well as they can play basketball and learn team building skills. So it entails a lot. It entails a lot for our youth in the community.
As you were writing these things down on paper and manifesting it and planning it, where'd the inspiration come from? What'd you draw from to kind of say, I want to do this, except a little different, or the complete opposite of this because I see that it's ineffective?
Well, what I drew from was because of seeing the things that were not going on positive in the community with our youth, uh, whether it's with the negative policing or the violent activity that was going on in the community. And I believe that if you give the youth something positive to do, they will do it and they will act accordingly. You've given them an outlet, a positive outlet. And that's all that many of the youth really want is a positive outlet in a safe place. And that's what we that's what we do for them.
So I want to get a little more specific.
Okay.
Um, I'm I'm learning that people want to be entertained before
Yes.
taught, before learning,
True.
and people love music. People love music, and I'm talking about ages like 6 to 18, kind of 7 to 21 ish. That type of how it's a certain culture that's written. Things are deemed cool socially, deemed to think popular socially. How do you brick by brick kind of skew and change that culture that's embedded in so much of our communities?
Well, uh, what we do is that we do provide musical entertainment. We do provide motivational speakers to come out, and we show them um, the the police in a different light. We wanted to bridge that gap also to show them in a positive in a positive light. And I feel that that's what we have built over the years with the Oklahoma County Sheriff's Department. They have helped us for the last 22 years in
Ooh.
helping us bridge that gap. And many of them volunteer their time in order to show themselves in a positive light to our youth in the community. And then by us having that setting, they're able to, uh, the students or the kids rather, they will listen to the advice and they're in a comfortable setting and they will take that advice for them because they're showing themselves in a friendly atmosphere.
Hmm.
Uh, and we provide that, you know, exchange to go on between our officers and the youth by setting them up in a comfortable atmosphere.
Yeah, to be the example is what I saw when I
Yes,
was there, because
yes,
it is a different narrative. It's a different feeling when they know, because I'm in the
right,
middle. I'm of the maturity to where I understand that policemen have jobs to do. They're human beings at the end of the day. They have families and obligations as well. And then I see my youth too that don't understand that quite yet. That it's
right.
been
And
painted a certain picture, and I'm uncomfortable. I'm not used to it. I'm not used to really going out of myself to do things that's not common. And so it was that nice platform to where I'll give you a little of me, you give me a little of you, and I'll see you next week. And then we build on that.
right. And by that exchange going on, they're also able to ask questions and the officers, the deputy sheriffs or what have you, they will give them coping mechanisms when they do have an unfriendly encounter with someone else. So they also, will lead and guide them into, positive reactions when they encounter those type of situations with other officers. So it's a good atmosphere and it's a learning experience for the kids, and they can ask those questions. They and the officers will tell them their rights, because everyone, they may not express that to them, and a lot of them do not know their rights. And I believe that that's very important, that they learn it, and that they're learning it in a positive and friendly environment. And then, they can go they can go and build from there.
Yeah. You brought up something that I've indoctrinated within myself, and that's the coping mechanisms, the mental and emotional health, um, and how to deal with certain stressful situations. Uh, for those who might not understand what coping mechanisms are, I want you to, in your words, explain it to them. Let's talk to them a little bit.
Some coping mechanisms could be just that, okay, you learn to breathe, you know, don't get too excited or overcome by that situation, and just take a moment out to breathe, or to count, or to think in your head, do rational thinking instead of just being reactive all the time. And it's hard, because it's hard for some of us as adults to do, but we have to learn those important coping mechanisms in order to be able to maneuver uh, through things, or through different oppositions in our lives today. But it could just be something as simple as that, or just sit still and be calm, and, you know, don't react as fast, because some of us tend to be reactive in a instantaneously manner. But you have to just be at peace sometime, and just breathe, and just think think before reacting. And a lot of us aren't able to do that, and a lot of the youth aren't able to do that. But we have to realize that what our youth is seeing, like I stated earlier, going on in the in America today, our leadership has to show uh, better coping mechanisms, and instead of being so uh, reactive or negative, or uh, you know, or speaking in hateful manners, in regards to a group of people or different situations. Our leaders have to stand up and be more accountable for their actions too, so our youth can model better behaviors also.
Yeah, that's a great point, because they, in the end, they want somebody to follow.
Right.
In the end, and they're longing for it, that
Yeah.
leadership and guidance. Now, what are they being shown? It's, I think when that starts to get more intentional within us, not external communities doing it for us, but we holding ourselves accountable
Right.
from within, I think everybody else would be forced to follow. Because I was talking with my brother the other day, and he broke down a reality to me, that I wanted to think it was different, but in reality, it's not. How we really don't stand for much as a unit, present tense.
Hmm.
People were losing their lives and their careers and getting bomb threats. We're scared of getting canceled and losing a contract. It's different. The dedication is different. I'm not saying right or wrong. I'm saying progressive and regressive. I'm saying that the intention is a lot different. The commitment is a lot different, and what we're willing to lose and stand on is a lot different. And that's something to be intentional about and talk about. One thing I want to commend you on is you said 22 years. I didn't realize you had gone on that long.
Well, this would be our 25th year this
Woo.
summer. The deputy sheriffs have been helping us for 22 years. I had tried to get others to help the first couple of years, but you know, many many people or agencies or they may say that they're willing to help, but it's a commitment, and that's a
Yes.
big thing, to be committed. So I'm so very thankful that I finally did get the Oklahoma County Sheriff's Department to come on board and to be committed to our program for 22 years. But we'll be 25 years coming next year in June.
How do you make it past the 5, 6, 9 mark? Ooh.
uh, that's a good question. A lot of prayer, and I tell you that people may not believe it, but the youth,
Mm.
the youth, the youth look forward once once you show the youth a safe haven and that you care and you build a relationship, a true relationship with them, then you know that's just awesome for them, and they will uplift you.
Mm.
It has been times in the 9 year mark. I'm human. I get tired, but I've been out, and if I go to a school, or I could be out at the mall, or I could just be grabbing something to eat, and a young person will come up and they'll ask, "Hey, midnight basketball lady, when are we going to get started?" They don't have to know my name. I don't care about them knowing my name. They know the program and they know what it has meant to them. And so that lifts me up past the 9 year mark, past the 15 year mark, past the 20 year mark, now the 25 year mark. So I got to commend the youth for being my biggest encouragement to go on, continue on.
24, 25 years. What's the toughest lesson?
The toughest lesson for me was that people, um, you realize that some people may not always be for you that say that they're for you.
Mm.
Um, and that's been the toughest thing to me, because you don't know what people's intentions are, and uh, you get blindsided by that.
And the best memory.
The best memory is it was a young man that back in 2006, he was only, I want to say, 8 or 9 years old. And he started coming to our program then. And he was coming every year, but then his mother died like a year later. Then his dad died a year later. And so then he was taken by his aunt to DC to live. Uh, he came back, I believe it was last year. He saw that we were on Facebook, and he said, "Do y'all still have midnight basketball going on?" He was, he had graduated, went to college for basketball, and played basketball, but he came back last year. He was finally able to come back. And so that's my best memory. He came back and helped out that summer, and of course, he went back to living in DC. But he did come back last summer. So that's my best memory, is that he remembered the program, and he in loved the program, and he said that the program saved his life, and so he had to come back, and so he came back and visited us for that summer.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
there was an article in the Daily Oklahoma in regards to it, because it was so amazing that you know, he remembered, and he remembered what the program meant to him, and that he, said that I need to come back. I need to come back just to visit it, just to pay homage to it.
Give people some advice who So I want to make it past that 8 year mark. I'm ready for the 15, 16 year mark. What what's some gems and some jewels and some tips you could give them as they're strategizing and planning and getting their resources? What would you give them?
I would have to say you'd have to stay focused, stay on the task at hand. When it doesn't seem like you know things are coming or that the donations are coming, you gotta just stay focused. And if it's your passion, then things will come together. It took a long time to get to where we are now. Uh, but I had to stay focused. I had to keep going at the task at hand because it was so important to the youth in the community and it was much needed in our community. And then things has gradually gotten better where I could do more, provide more programs for them, um, you know, provide backpacks, provide things for the students that are going to college or what. I say you got to stay focused, much prayer too,
Why do you think it's necessary for leaders in the community to take on that mantle? For people in the community to take on that responsibility and push it forward.
because it'll give the children or the youth rather uh, a sense of pride. It'll give the community a sense of pride. It'll give the students direction, a sense of direction. So, and it's important for building relationships with our youth in the community.
So to the 11, 17-year old that, Miss Priscilla, I think I want to do it. Every night I think about it. I'm excited, but how do I know if this path is meant for me?
Mm, good question. You always expose them to various opportunities, and that's why we have people and inspirational people like yourself for coming out and different ones to come out and for them to be able to go and see. They also have a chance if they're really thinking that, hey, this is my passion. We have a colonel that's in the Air Force that come out and and he speak also. So if they think that they're interested in that, he's more than willing to go out to bring them out and show them and expose them to that to see if that's really their passion. And it's different ones throughout the community that have that will come in and we'll give them that exposure to see if that's really what they're wanting to do, whether it be poetry or DJing or um, anything. They have the opportunity to ask some of the other leaders and the people that we bring in, and then we will make a way for them to go and get exposed to those different opportunities. And then they can make it the decision and see, hey, yeah, that is really something that I want to do because I can see this and I can see myself doing this.
What are some ways they can stay disciplined, stay focused?
They can stay focused and disciplined by reaching out to us and others. They can reach out to us in regards to saying, okay, how can I stay focused on this task at hand? Then we give them different little, you know, as you say, gems or whatever, to encourage them to do whatever that they're interested in doing.
And how can they contact you? What's your contact information?
My contact information is 405-501-0367, or they can reach us at soyouthokc@gmail.com.
And this, I've made it a habit to ask every guest this because I like the different perspectives that come in and different experiences. Do you think it's possible? I talked about us as the community coming together and being more organized and intentional with our resources and our education to be more organized. What would it take?
Yes, absolutely. I believe it is. I just believe that we need more people willing um, to meet, to have forums, to have discussions, and to uplift and promote the needs in our communities.
Because I spoke with last episode was the pros and cons of law school with Lorenzo Banks, and
Hmm.
he talked about that we have to vote. That a
Yes,
lot of people want. They say this is the problem. This is what I want to see. Then he and his team and his group will come out and say, okay, you want this. This is the person to vote for because this is their track record. This is what they're going to do for us in this given amount of time. Of course, it takes time and be patient, but then people won't come.
right. And it is important. He was spot on. It is important that we vote. We be very intentional with our vote. We be intentional with who we want to be in these different positions to help our community. Is so important. We even saving our youth. We even will go out to some of the schools and have the voters registration things where if you're a senior and you're 17 about to turn 18, or if you're 18, we will give them the forms so they can sign up to vote. And that's one of the things that we have to stress a lot to our youth. And we've had different legislators and state leaders to come to our midnight basketball program to express to them the importance of voting and being very intentional on who we get into these positions that are willing to help our community, that's willing to listen to the needs in our community. And it's so very important, as you said. It's so Mr. Banks was definitely spot on. We do have to be intentional with our vote. We do have to, encourage our youth uh, to get out and vote so that we can have the necessary changes that we need in each and every one of our communities.
We also talked about the power of the church. That he feels that's one of the most impactful social institutions within the community. I myself would say entertainment as well, more so like sports and music. Music
Right,
is huge.
right.
What other avenues do you think that we could use to kind of sway, to kind of inform and to reach out and capture the attention of those we need to?
Like as I stated in the school settings,
Okay.
uh, we need to, and in our program, Midnight Basketball, we stress that also, and in other community programs that may be going on, we need to be very intentional in regards to being willing to get different community members or community leaders out to those different spots to encourage and inform our youth and community in large the importance of voting and getting them registered to vote, and more registration drives. We partnered a year ago with Our Kids United, and they had a registration drive where people could just drive up. I think that that's so important. We need more of those to go on, yearly or a couple of times a year. Have different people to have the drive up and you register to vote.
Hmm. Um, so I usually ask our guests, if they were dying tomorrow, what would what words and wisdom and what would you leave for the youth behind? But before you do that, tell us, what can we expect from you? What's upcoming? What should we going to be on the lookout for?
Well, upcoming is our 25th year of our summer program. We're excited about that. We will have many community leaders out as always. We will have different legislators out as always. We will have, the food, plenty of food and everything for the kids, and different STEM activities also going on. And we're trying to partner with the innovation, um, some of the people in the innovation district to show uh, the youth, or whether to expose the youth to science and technology. So we have a lot of great things coming up the pipe, and we're looking forward to our 25th year. Also, the Oklahoma County Sheriffs will be there also to help us with crowd control, and also to help us with mentoring our youth in the community. So we have a lot of great things coming up, and partnerships for our 25th year. So please, everybody, come out. If you care to donate, you can donate to Saving Our Youth to help us to further our mission. So, a lot of great things coming up for our 25th year. And also, I forgot, in regards to the arts, it's just going to be a variety of things out there for the youth, career pathways, arts labs, and like I said, the science and innovation should be coming up too. So we're just trying to partner with a lot of things to bring a lot of things to our youth in the community, to expose them to positive um, activities.
And if you were dying tomorrow, what would you leave behind right now?
What I would say to the youth is to stand on the shoulders of the elders, stand on the shoulders of my generation, and then they would be able to create a better tomorrow together, because together we rise.
And there we go. And with that, we thank you for joining us on Specificity.